Welcome to Ranking Every Commander with the Nitpicking Nerds. Oh, we're getting so close to number one.
Hear this out. Hear me out. 30 to 21. Listen to those numbers. They're low numbers.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
And I'm your host, BZ, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. If you like varieties of numbers, no, I was going with varieties of numbers in thumbnails and video titles, the Ranking Every Commander series, you don't do it as well as me, has a plethora of them. So go check it out. And when you love it and fall in love with it forever, subscribe to us.
And besides, you want to be a subscriber to this channel because our subscribers are 10% less likely to be annihilated.
Disclaimer guy here. Just want to say, you can get annihilated. We ain't going to judge you.
Usually that vocabulary in our disclaimer has something to do with the future of the video. So I wonder if we're going to see any references to that.
No.
No. Okay. No. Number 30 on the list is Gingka Core Augur. He is 8 blue for a 5/4 with flash. Opponent's hand sizes are reduced to 0. You draw 7 cards at the end of your turn.
So
Those are some words.
he's also a 5/4. I don't remember if you said it. Regardless, this guy is super strong when you get to play him. But
As your commander, this is the most obvious thing, the least not telegraphed thing ever. I don't know. They're going to see it. They're going to hate you. They need to kill you or just keep an answer for Jin in their hand. It's just like, it only gets a 6, which is still pretty high.
one of the problems with this is if they have 10 mana, they hold it up, and then you go, okay, well, I have to hold on my answers now, and they can just go like, okay, I just want to play Jin. And then they just can like cast all their instants and just do something at the end of the last person's turn.
Yeah, you do get to threaten Jin and then never play it, but that doesn't really showcase the power of Jin. It's not a fun Magic card.
Well, I mean, I think that is part of the power. It is part of the power of Jin because it shows that, okay, everyone's got mana left up. I'll just do the other stuff my deck can do. Like, I'll do like a Thirst for Knowledge and stuff like that. It's like instead of having to force my Jin into all this mana.
Yeah, I guess what you really want to do is flash in. You go, nope, no Jin. End step, flash in to Fairy Mage of Zhalfir. Untap, play Jin. Get the guaranteed 7 cards.
Oh, that feels really good to do. So what you want to do is you want to ramp up really high with this guy, have counter spells and other ways to protect this big fatty, because if you get to go a full cycle, so you play him on your turn and he goes a full cycle around, you will essentially have won the game.
It's very difficult to do that. We always say it's difficult to go play a threat and then untap with it, especially if it's annoying and huge and like the most huge lightning rod I've ever seen.
I mean, lightning rod is like almost an understatement. He's a lightning rod for wrath effects.
Talk about like demands an answer. You just either answer this or you have no hand. It's simple. This card is not fun because you answer it or you have no hand. And if you're it can lead to bullying situations where player 1 plays Jin and now player 4 has an answer, but player 4 doesn't need to answer it until player 3 and 2 lose their hands.
I do love the interesting thing. This hasn't been brought up yet. Being up this high, almost no one has less than a 5 for fun, because they're always going to be fun to play as commanders because they're powerful. They let you do fun stuff when you're playing that deck. But a lot of them, when your opponents start coming up against, it's like, I don't want to play against a Jin deck because it's super annoying.
Yeah, here's the thing. The 5 mana 6/6s with Planeswalk and they get +0/+2 counters, like those cards are not fun to play because they don't do anything. They don't let you play Magic. All these cards just let you play as much Magic as you want, and the restriction is how much fun your opponents are going to have.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
There's no shortage of Magic for you to play with Jin Gitaxias or any card on this list at this point.
Let's go. His art, amazing. The Praetor arts are almost all amazing.
So good. They're so creepy, and there's just machinery and like living, oozing tissue stuff going on. They love putting Jin Gitaxias in artwork. I don't know why he's like the go-to.
I like him in artwork.
Serum Visions. He's on Git Probe. There's like multiple Git Probe altars. That's got his name in it. Himself, I don't know. There's a couple random terrible rares with him on it.
I love him in Serum Visions. That one, I love that Serum Visions art.
I mean, how many arts has Urabrask on? 2?
Well, no one likes Urabrask.
Well, they didn't know that when they were printing it. He's on Active Aggression and Urabrask, I think. I don't know. Ellersnorn is on 2? I don't even know. Yeah.
She's on the shards card.
Arrow shards and her is what I was thinking of. And route. Okay, she got on route. We don't need to really go into that too much.
Like you were going to a lot.
I went super deep. All of the Phyrexians Praetors are like ridiculously cool. Like it's hilarious how cool they are, and they just get max cool points.
Well, let's hit you with that lore. The lore tidbits.
Hit him with that lore tidbit.
Basically, he hates all the other Praetors. He really doesn't like Shielded or really doesn't like Vorinclex, but he does have sort of an alliance with. Well, he just doesn't fight against Elesh Norn.
Okay.
But
Is he scared of her?
No, he just has like an alliance. He's basically like, it's just better if I don't fight you right now.
Okay. He's a baby.
He hates Karn. Thinks he's useless.
Really?
He just
Well, you wanted Karn to be the master of machines, right? You captured Karn. That was his like stuff.
It said they didn't like Karn. I don't know. It's so tough when you get these like blurb bits.
Well, New Phyrexia wasn't too big on the lore. They didn't care much back then.
It's implied he can use white and black mana, which is cool.
Oh, really?
That's what's All
right.
It's implied he can use white and black mana.
Apparently they discovered extra worlds, right? That's what Elesh Norn's flavor text says. It's like, the Gitaxians are talking about other worlds. Let's go there.
I don't know. I read the whole little bit on his lore thing, but I didn't see that in there. He captured Tezzeret, brought him before Karn, and that's where the sentence ends. It's like,
what happened?
I don't know. Obviously, it didn't last because we know Tezzeret got away and we know Karn isn't there anymore, so I don't know.
Why can't something bad just happen to Tezzeret? Why can't Tezzeret just die?
A lot of bad has happened to him. He's made up of like all Ethereum.
He chose that. They choose that. It's like an upgrade.
It's still painful.
Afterwards.
I mean,
you have no nerves.
I mean, yeah, but it's painful to replace all your body parts.
It's painful to open magic booster packs with Tezzeret in them. That's what's painful.
Yeah,
I think we can move on though, because uniqueness we basically touched on already. Cisse, Weatherlight Captain, is number 29. Give it a read.
2 and a white for a legendary creature, human soldier, 2/2. Cisse Weatherlight Captain gets +1/+1 for each color among other legendary permanents you control. Wooburg, search your library for a legendary permanent card with converted mana cost less than Cisse's power. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library.
5-color legends. You can go planeswalkers, you can go creatures, you can go artifacts, you can go lands, because she gets whatever. 5 mana gets you any land guaranteed, because lands have mana cost 0.
I don't know. Ramping for 5 mana isn't the best, but if you're getting certain lands like Gaia's Cradle,
Cabal Coffers, Urborg, stuff like that.
I mean, there's definitely ones worth getting.
There's 2 lands that can turn colorless mana into Wooburg mana, so maybe if you're making a bunch with Gaia's Cradle, then you can turn that into Urborg, Cabal Coffers, and make even more. I don't know. We did a deck tech on this, and it was like one of our most popular videos ever.
Yeah, it's in the top like 10 videos.
I didn't expect it. I was just kind of like, we need a legend to do for Modern Horizons. This one looks cool.
Isn't there a mistake in that video too? It's still one of our most popular videos.
Yep.
I think there's just a mistake in that video.
We never make mistakes, but feel free to watch that video and give it a view and see if we made a mistake.
Yeah.
We'll never tell you.
We'll never tell. 10 for fun.
The power's low.
The power's...
This is expensive and clunky. Need we say more?
Yeah, but it's super fun because you get to go get all your legends. Like, this is a really cool 5-color Planeswalker commander because if you can augment its power even a little bit, then you just can start searching up all the Planeswalkers. All of them, as BC said. There's a lot of cool Planeswalkers, obviously.
Yeah, we don't need to go into Planeswalkers being cool. How about the art?
The art is fine. She looks pretty BA.
She's like, we're going. Like, there's a storm outside. She's like, let's do it.
I'm sure it's depicting something specific that happened in events that...
Maybe she delivered an Independence Day speech or something.
Is it a storm? Because it might just be referencing when Yawgmoth was a giant fart cloud.
Oh, yeah. That is his strongest form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fart cloud.
But they haven't made that card yet because they can't figure out what creature type to make it.
It would just be... It's so weird.
Fart.
He just turns into a cloud, basically, and just attacks.
Maybe it's something more specific than a cloud, but doesn't matter. What about her coolness?
Coolness?
Cisse. It's Cisse. One of the most iconic and like in-depth Magic characters ever. She's got books written where she's like one of the main characters.
So here's our lore tidbits of the day. So much lore, it's crazy. The original Leatherite Captain, betrayed by Stark and captured and then saved by Gerard. This is probably has a huge story, but in the little like blurb on the lore site, it just says Ladder Rebellion in this one place. Like, what?
Ladder Rebellion.
Okay, thanks.
She fought and lost the TV show?
She fought and lost her ship, but was given a new one. They named it the Victory.
Hey.
But
Okay.
her ship became. Did you know the Weatherlight became sentient for a bit?
No, I did not know that.
It did.
You didn't mention wasn't she part of the, I just had the word, that Urza thing, the bloodline?
Yep.
Yep. She was with Gerard. They were like, I don't know, what was it? Like, craft made. She chose what her parents were going to be.
Yeah, then they made it so she would. She was made to bring the legacy together, the weapon.
Good for her. She's one of the only survivors, right?
It's one of the 3 survivors of the Weatherlight crew. It's her, Tengrath, and Squee.
And Squee can't die.
And Squee is still alive.
Yeah, Squee never died. Gotta love Squee. How about uniqueness? She tutors legendary permanents into play. Almost as cool as her other version.
And
no. Just cooler. Like her other version is almost as cool as this.
She gets points she gets power for having other colors in the field among permanents you control. That's interesting.
I get it. It's flavorful. I understand. Like she can lead anyone. She's lead like this ragtag group of people.
She can do anything. If she has 5 power, she can go recruit Nicol Bolas to her crew.
Of course.
Come, Nicol Bolas.
Why didn't you say Yawgmoth? That's the one you want to get. You only need one guy for that. Okay, we can move on. We can move on to number 28. Who is it?
Number 28 is God Eternal Katra.
According to the proxy I made for this card, it's just a 3/6 with double strike. But it's 3 white for a 3/6 double strike. And then whenever you cast a creature spell, you get a 4/4 black zombie with vigilance for free. And then if she would die or be exiled, instead you can put her 3rd from the top. This card's pretty strong. It's one of the better mono white commanders. Mono white commanders kind of suck though.
Taking into consideration, you just said one of the better mono white commanders is a 6 for power.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When I'm picturing mono white commanders, I'm picturing her, SRAM, Elishnorn maybe, and like I don't know if Heliod is going to be the real deal yet.
At least,
the new Heliod.
The new Heliod's so cool.
I'm not sure. But those are some of the better ones in my head.
Yeah. So I like a lot about this card and what it does as a mono white guy. You play her early, you get her out. You play cheap, efficient creatures, which leads you getting 4/4s. Then you cash in those 4/4s to do whatever, to get mana, to
Sometimes you just kill people.
pull skull clamps on. Sometimes you attack, but we like to say attacking is not the best means of winning in Commander because it's just not.
Nah. Usually I have this deck. It's so much fun to play. It's at least a 7. For me, probably more than 7, but we know we had to kind of get rid of the subjectivity.
Yeah, this is one where I don't have a problem with playing against it, but if you're not going like this is like
It's
one of
the mono white problem.
It's a mono white problem where it's like you're forced into an archetype of even like BZ's deck has to fall into like very similar play patterns for a lot of games because mono white doesn't have a lot of ways to go. You end up
Mono white, you're leaning on Smothering Tithe, Skull Clamp, Enlightened Tutor, that type of thing. So I'm playing Stoneforge Mystic. Boom, let's go get it. One card I desperately want to put in this deck is Sword of Fire and Ice. It looks so cool.
Maybe.
You gotta take advantage of that double strike, baby.
I mean, a lot of this deck's power comes from using powerful like artifacts and stuff because mono white just suffers. Like how much strong mono white is there?
Whenever there's a new one, I'll let you know because it's gonna be in that deck. It's like, oh, 7's Reclamation, boom, it's in. Waiting for the next one now.
Haliad's Intervention was a good one.
Yeah, boom, it's in. Give me like 10 more sets and I think we're good.
Yeah.
But one of the big power things for this is you have no commander attacks. This card always costs 5.
Yeah,
You just need a couple cute crafty ways like, some cycling here and there, some skull clamp action, some extra ways to get card velocity, so this is just in your hand.
Yeah, so some cards break if you read up our criteria, it does break the criteria a bit because we think the no commander attacks bumped it up a point because it doesn't really have the immediate impact on the board. When she comes down right away, obviously, unless you have a follow-up, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So it makes, but no commander attacks is a bump up in a point here because
That's huge.
It is a huge thing.
I'm not paying the 7 mana for this thing, or 9 mana. Well, sometimes you want to pay 7, but never 9 or 11. Screw that.
That's a lot. We got time for
Artwork.
There's 2 cool arts here. Her art with the purple sky and shooting the archery bow is really cool, but also that SDC promo.
God. Perihelion the second is her brow and eye sockets. Oh my god, it's so cool. Also, I heard, this isn't like official or anything, but in the original art, she's pointing her bow towards where the sparks are going. So it's like, is she pointing her bow at Nicol Bolas?
What? Why would
Well, she's like aiming in the direction the sparks are all headed. It's just like, it was like a speculation thing.
Lots of fun.
But she does turn on Bolas in the story, which we can get to right now. Her and Bantu hold him down, and she gets just barely obliterated, all caps, by Nicol Bolas, and then Bantu slurps Bolas' spark out, and then Bantu explodes.
Yeah, they're basically both like going at him. He obliterates her, and then Bantu bites his wrist. And the only reason he obliterates her is so the God Eternals are all dead.
Yep, just so they all die, because only one of them can take a spark and blow up, and it can't just be like one of them. Ketra's just chilling on Ravnica, like nobody wants to cross her. She's just wandering around with no purpose.
I mean, pretty much all the Eternals just end up like standing there afterward, and they just get killed.
After the war was over?
Yeah, and at the end of War of the Spark.
Maybe she just be a blank slate.
They're all like basically standing there, and they're just like mercilessly having to kill all them.
Ugh, weird.
Yeah, it's pretty horrifying.
But I love the whole story of she gets brainwashed on Amonkhet and then serves her whole life for just this completely meaningless service, whatever, purpose. And then she gets killed again by Bolas's minions, and she was Bolas's minion the whole time. Then she gets reanimated and turned back into Bolas's minion and just kills so many people. It's like sad.
I mean, Zombie God, that's probably one of the coolest parts of the card.
I would agree.
Because that story is meh. Zombie God, though.
But that's the cool part of the story.
I don't like your story.
I like the Amonkhet story.
I mean...
It's just a feel bad. That's the bad guy wins on Amonkhet. That's like so refreshing.
I mean, sometimes. I didn't like the Amonkhet story very much. It was whatever to me.
Okay. The 8 for uniqueness. That commander text avoiding ability is great. And making huge creatures for any creatures, like if you want to go ham with White Mane Lion or whatever, just make 4/4s for 2 mana.
Yeah, and that's
It's great.
really annoying. That's one of the more powerful things you can do.
Man, this is going to be the longest video ever. We're
getting high.
We got to cruise. We're not getting high. Not on YouTube. And also, I've never gotten high in my life.
Lies.
No.
He's a liar.
Not proper. I don't do drugs, okay? I'm not a stoner.
Not proper.
I've like consumed marijuana like half of once.
I'm not a stoner.
I'm not. Oh, God. If anyone thinks I'm a stoner, I'm going to quit YouTube right now. Tali, Primal Storm, if you're a stoner, subscribe because I'm just like you. 27. It is 4 red for a 6/6. When it attacks, each player exiles the top card of their library, and you can cast them for free.
I love this card. Fight for power. It does not have an immediate impact on the board.
Got to attack.
It's got to attack, and it's got to go around. But you're going to put ways to give it haste in this deck because you really want this card to have haste. You're going to be playing big red, essentially, when you're playing this card.
Sly.
So you get to play a control-y type red deck that ultimately wants to drop big, cool, awesome threats that are hopefully bigger than what your opponent's doing. It's tough. This is not a great play style for EDH, which is also...
No, it's not the best.
It's a much better play style for certain... It's a great meta.
You probably lose the fun point and get a 9 instead of 10 for you.
Yeah, well, no. People hate having some of their cards stolen.
People are babies. It's okay if your card gets stolen. Get it back. Destroy it. It's fine. You still get the piece of cardboard. It's still yours.
Yeah, it's still your piece of cardboard, but people hate when people touch their stuff.
Sorry, if you're a baby, please subscribe. I didn't mean to offend you.
10 for our... Oh, it's a giant dinosaur coming out of a storm.
Like the jaws are about to like snap on something.
Oh, it's
fresh out of the fog.
It's so scary.
It's really scary.
And the art already makes him look a 10 for coolness, but the other dinosaurs were trapped in the Golden City.
Elder dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Just like Zombie God. Like those 2 words are just amazing.
Yeah. They were all trapped in the Golden City, and when it's open, the other dinosaurs were released and trapped, and he is essentially the embodiment of a never-ending rage and storm.
Great. Keep it coming, Natali. This card made it all the way up. Like I'm thinking, a mono white and mono red commander made it all the way up to 27 and 28 of everything ever. That's pretty insane. I doubt there's any higher than those 2 that are red or white. I don't know. But I was thinking, how high is this really if it ETBs and does the same thing? If it has Titan text on it?
Oh my God.
It would be
if it has
like
Titan text?
An 8 maybe? 9?
Yeah, if you get,
probably like 8.
If you get an immediate impact out of it, then yeah, I think it's insane.
Oof.
It's like...
That is so strong.
It's crazy how adding like that one line of text can make something so much more powerful.
And I think if if we get a 44, it would be top 5. I think that's like there's only 5 or 10 that have that many points.
Yeah, or it would even be more powerful if this character could just put lands in play.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
That's also
that's really, really good.
Yeah, even without the ETB, it's like no matter what you have at the top of the deck, you get to cast it all and lands go in play. It's like that's probably so good.
to end the hypothetical discussion, there's probably ways to go infinite.
Death cards.
Assuming you get 1 or 2 lands.
Yeah, that card's-
Next.
Next, we have Animar, Soul of Elements, number 26. Read 'em, B.
Teamer for a 1/1. Legendary Elemental, protection from white and from black. That's relevant. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a counter on him. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each +1/+1 counter on Animar. This card is really, really strong. It has a 9 for power. Because if you're trying to do the thing where I want to trigger Animar a bunch of times, then you're just going to accidentally go infinite.
Yeah, it's really easy to go infinite in this deck, it turns out.
This is
plus
you also play Morphs with this deck.
you can play Morphs, plus one kind of. Though we did get a Morph commander now, so it's not. You don't have to force Morphs for this guy as
Force
much.
Morphs.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have to be the Morph. He's not like, this is ultimately the Morph commander. He just is. That's what he does. But we have another Morph commander now.
Yeah, but she kind of does the same. She's kind of like impersonating Animar. The first Morph you cast costs 3 less. Animar's like, dude, all your Morphs cost 3 less. Don't worry about it.
But also, it draws you a card, so it's pretty sweet.
Whatever. Sultai stuff. Your future creatures are going to cost 0. You play colorless creatures, only 1 or 2 pips most. Take advantage, blink them, just go completely insane. Animar is super good, and he just can't be spot removed by half of the spot removal spells.
Yeah,
maybe more than half.
A lot of them are white and black. I mean, Beast Within, Chaos Whip. There's some, obviously, but there's not. There's so many. Like, although so many are popping in my head, I know it's just what I shout out how many there are, but
Yeah,
it's
there's
just
no
like
point.
there's so many. Like, and the English are making just keeps coming to my mind. It's like it avoids both colors. No, I want to English. I'm making him.
Okay.
All right, give me some of that lore.
8. Well, we have an 8 for fun, because it's not super fun to play against. You got to police it. You got to kill Animar.
I mean, yeah, if
Get this
Animar,
thing dead.
if Animar stays there 3 turns, then how are you going? It's just going to go off so quick and just.
If you want to think about it a different way, it loses 1 point for protection from black and 1 point for protection from white. Those abilities are not fun ever. 9 for art. What do you think of the art? It's fantastic.
Yeah, it looks so
He's got
good.
like a
Pull it up.
waterfall coming out of him. He looks like the plane. He looks like what the lore says he is, which is, and I quote, in the folklore of its plane, the Animar is the ultimate source of all life, the seed from which all creation grows. In the presence of Animar, crops blossom and herds thrive. Ugh. And the wake of its wanderings determines the course of the season. I just was thinking of when it's around herds, they breed more. They just get real busy. How else are they supposed to thrive?
I mean, they have lots of food and lots of, like, nothing stopping them from dying. Like, they're not being hunted. Or it could just be sex.
Just be, this is,
It could just
move
be-
over, Karametra, there's a new god of fertility.
It could just be animal sex.
How about the coolness? And that's all we have to, that one paragraph is all we have to go on.
I mean, that's already pretty cool. I mean, he looks like he's a living mountain thingy that, like, walks. He's like,
It's got all 3. It's got, shrubbery, mountainry, and rivery.
in his art, do you know what Geodude is? The Pokemon?
Yeah.
That floats with arms. He looks like he has arms to, like, pull himself and walk. He doesn't have legs.
Yeah, it kind of looks like he's creeping over a cliff or something, and his legs are really big.
Like, it looks like it just
But
looks
he kind
so
of
much
looks like
like.
he can just only kind of crawl.
I thought those are arms in my head, so it's just like Geoduding. It's like point.
Those are his arms.
Well, yeah, but I don't see legs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it looks like he has to crawl on his arms, but his legs, I think, he's looming over the edge of a cliff. I
Yeah,
think.
but I just like to imagine he doesn't have legs.
Yeah, and he just goes like this.
He's just that's like
How many times do I have to do this?
more than once
What about
apparently.
0?
Give us the uniqueness, Beezy.
Well, he's got protection from black and white, so he's uniquely unfun. And he makes your creatures cost 0. And I would say there's no other commander that could ever make your creatures cost 0 for the whole turn. No way. No way. You better just move on.
We better just move on and never come back to that again.
Never. Brudiclad Telcor Engineer. This card is awesome. Number 25. 4 blue, red for a 4/4. I always think this card is a 4/1, and I don't know why. 4 blue, red for a 4/4. Creature tokens you control have haste. At the beginning of combat on your turn, make a 2/1 blue mirror artifact creature token. Then you may choose a token you control. Choose, not target. If you do, each other token you control becomes a copy of that token. Let's get the power out of the way. It's fine. It's pretty good. You can run people over and ambush them out of nowhere. It isn't that expensive like Jin, where you can never do it. But it's just not super reliable. People can unfun you pretty quick by just killing him. It's the most fun thing. This card's so cool.
Yeah, if you get to go to combat with him, you get to do some silly things.
Holy crap, we built a deck on this. It was like one of the coolest decks ever.
Yeah.
You turned treasures and clues and squids and goats into mere battle spheres, or I don't know, Inferno Titans.
Or the thing we forgot, constructs that get +1/+1 for each.
Karn and Urza constructs. Oh my god.
They're so strong.
Those two cards make me want to build this deck.
10 for fun because did you just hear the things you could do?
You can turn treasures into clues.
Okay.
What card is letting you do that? How is that even a thing?
I mean, realistically, want to be completely silly? If you play Hall of Mirrors, right? That's the one that gets rid of the legendary.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, this is just for the sake of being silly. You could just turn them all into Urzas and have an army of Urzas to attack with. How is that not the funnest thing you could ever do?
Well, and once you got Hall of Mirrors, you can take the worst card ever, God Pharaoh statue, and make 30 of those. So your opponent's spells cost 60 more to cast. At your end step, each opponent loses 30 life.
that's an actual win card. That's cool.
That's cool.
That's so cool. I mean,
now you guys aren't doing
nothing. To be fair, like I wouldn't get mad at somebody doing that because they're winning the game. Like ultimately, it's just winning the game.
It's over.
Like if somebody played that many God Pharaoh statues and they didn't have that life loss clause, I'd be more annoyed.
Yeah,
I guess even
spells cost 60 more.
But even I guess even then, why am I going to care? It just says I win, and that's fine.
If you get an emblem that says your opponents can't cast spells, I'm gonna concede.
Yeah, and I think
you'll lose to that 4/4 Brutaclad.
What do you think of the art of this card?
I think it could be better, honestly. It's just lacking a couple art points. He's not really doing anything. I don't know where he is, on a beach somewhere. Why is he on a beach? He doesn't really have a creature type because there's no room. He's just an artificer.
I was imagining Brutaclad being like, "Let's go to the beach."
Let's go to the beach. Nicki Minaj. Here's his lore. I did not know this. He was completed by Phyrexians. He's a Phyrexian. He was like a mirror creature, but now he's just kind of Brutaclad. He does his own thing. This is like the most trippy thing, and I don't know when they thought of this, but it must have been recently. During the Time Spiral Crisis, he was transported through a time rift from a possible future to Dominaria. His appearance seems to hint that in the future, Dominaria will be conquered by New Phyrexia.
I mean, it seems to hint. It is from a possible future.
Yeah, possible future.
It hints that I think it would hit. It's worded like that, and you copied it.
Yeah.
But I think it more hints that there is definitely possible futures where Phyrexia does conquer
And they just take over everything.
Dominaria.
Oh, man. The balls on Wizards to ruin their OG plane. I'm here for it. I love Phyrexia, and I wouldn't even mind a dark set of like I don't even care. 5-year span where we just only go to Phyrexian planes because there's nothing left, and we have to kind of fight them. Well, not we, someone else.
I don't know if I like that.
I take it. Like, oh, we're on Ixalan, but remember all that stupid stuff? Yeah, it's robots now. That'd be awesome.
Turns out there's a robot version.
Actually, you know what that reminds me of? I think there was like a Ratchet and Clank game where that happened, where everywhere returned into robots.
I don't know.
I think that was a thing. Let me know, Ratchet and Clank fans. It's been a while for me, so make sure you subscribe. Now we got babies, we got Ratchet and Clank fans, and we got some other third demographic that I forget, all subscribing to us. We're taking all of the big demographics.
Babies. There's so many baby YouTubers.
There's a lot of babies out there.
Not a lot of babies watching YouTube, though.
I don't know.
In a 10 for uniqueness, name something that does anything close to this.
Turning treasures into clues. What else is doing that?
I mean,
what am I even saying?
Any random token. There's so many random, silly tokens that you can make in Magic.
Yeah.
And turning those into whatever other silly token you might have. Or doing the vice versa and just making your whole army goats. We had
Jack Pasture. Sack all your goats.
In this deck tech that we did recently, we had Shared Animosity in the deck. So if you have a way to go infinite, which there was ways in the deck, you can make infinite of anything, make them all their goats, and then kill them with Shared Animosity anyway. Because
Shared Animosity says whenever a thing attacks for each other thing with the same type, it gets +X+O, and they're all goats, and they can attack.
Get them!
Use the metal goat from Theros.
Yes.
The goat that looks like it's a 4/4. The least flavorful goat token I've ever seen.
What's next?
Oh, okay. We're about to hit a block of cards that are really good. Really ridiculous. Let's start with Kozilek, the Great Distortion. You may have heard of him. Number 24. 8 Wingding for a 12/12 with Menace. When you cast him, you draw cards until you're up to 7. And you can discard a card with mana cost X. Counter target spell with mana cost X.
Woof.
This card is one of my favorite creatures ever. This is so cool.
His power is a 7. I mean, he costs a lot of mana, but when you cast him, you fill back up your hand. Your hand is now filled with good spells and counter spells at the same time.
Yes, you can counter 0-drops with land. You can counter Swords to Plowshares with Relic of Progenitus. You can do basically whatever you want. Protect him, he two-shots people. You're playing colorless, you're playing Grand Dynamo, and Everflowing Chalice, and Mindstone, and Mana Crypt, and Soul Ring, and Grim Monolith, and whatever else. However fast you can ramp into this dude, be it turn 2, 3, or 4, or even 5, 6, or 7.
This deck has to be policed because the problem with this is you don't have to police the commander all the time because he is removable. Sometimes you don't have the right thing.
Spells can't line up every time.
But this deck can ramp so quickly.
Well, how about colorless decks ramp so quickly? It's just a guaranteed thing.
Well, but here's the thing. Usually, you ramp so quickly, and you're like, okay, well, he just used all his cards to play his commander. But now he uses all his cards to play his commander and refill his hand.
Yeah, if you want to compare this to Ulamog Infinite Gyre, which we talked about, like that guy, you ramp into him, okay, you blew up a permanent, but if Ulamog goes away, kind of lost all your progress. Kozilek's like, no, dude, keep it going. Let's keep it going. Kozilek, that's why I love Kozilek so much. Oh, this is like Kozilek's one of my favorite cards, both versions.
Some of the more fun that you lose is your opponent has 7 different counterspells in their hand.
Yeah, they have 7 counterspells. You can't. Not every player can have more removal than that.
You can't.
Sometimes you just get gimped and you just lose to the 12/12 with Menace.
You also can't win a counter fight against it because this is an activated ability and not a spell.
It's true. It's true. And if you counter Kozilek itself, they still get to drop 7.
What do you think of the art? You care more about this.
I love it. I actually learned a little bit about the art where I never even noticed. From his original printing to now, the Oath of the Gatewatch printing, he gained the geometry towards above his shoulders, and it's not a shape or a physical object, it's a hole in space.
Okay.
That is super cool. He hit underground, this is for the Oath of the Gatewatch story, he hit underground, gained shapes that are holes in space, and then he surfaced when Obnixilis got his spark back, nobody asked for that, and he freed Ulamog, and then the two kind of fought and ruined everything around them, and then the Gatewatch, this is like the worst story moment in the universe. The Gatewatch manipulate the ley lines and they trap Ulamog and Kozilek together, and then Chandra sets them on fire and they burn up. And I will get back to this at a later point when we discuss a different card.
Fire, my only weakness.
What were we talking about? Oh, the Eldrazi are, it's compared to the hand of the person in a pond. Oh, it dies to fire.
Obviously.
I think in the story they said they pulled the whole form in too. I think in the story they pulled like the whole form in. And they're like, okay, it's all here. It's from the Blind Eternities, it's all on Zendikar now. And then we burned them. How do you even have that much fire? Where do you get that much fire? This is the worst thing ever. Total dumb way to end these two. And they might come back. They easily could.
I mean, as with any fictional story universe that has an ever-continuing story, comic books.
I mean, these are also just aliens, so you can just say, well, why'd they do that? Aliens.
I mean, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's imagine you have comic books where it's a never-ending story. So eventually, every character just ends up coming back at some point.
Yeah, and that's why I don't read comic books, and that's why I don't like the Magic story. But it could easily be like, oh, you didn't kill all 3 of them, so Emrakul just brings the other 2 back. Oh, you didn't kill Ulamog, so Kozilek and Emrakul come back. They're like one and the same or something. I don't know.
He's in the moon plotting.
Yeah, Kozilek also in the moon. Ulamog's dead, but Kozilek's in the moon with my hopes and dreams. His coolness, obviously we talked about it. All the Eldrazi are just slam dunk 10s. It's one of the coolest concepts, like Lovecraftian horror, unstoppable, hopeless threat, and the uniqueness. Nothing else even comes close to this. I would say maybe there's only one other card in Magic that reminds me of Kozilek the Great Distortion, but let's just forget about it and not even say what it is, and move on to the next card.
Number 23, Kozilek, Butcher of Truth.
This card is also very good.
Oh, you can read this one from memory. Come on.
Oh, I could, but I just love this card too much. I just wanted to look at it. 10 mana for a legendary creature, Eldrazi. Does it have Devoid? No, it's just colorless. God, Devoid is the worst. 12/12. When you cast this spell, draw 4 cards. Annihilator 4. Whenever this creature attacks, defending player sacrifices 4 permanents. If Kozilek is put into your graveyard, you shuffle your whole graveyard into your library, but he's your commander, so we don't have to worry about that.
Okay, so this is the same power because it refills. You can ramp into it and draw 4 cards. Sometimes that might be more, sometimes it might be less.
Slowly roll, buddy. This has the exact same number as the previous Kozilek in every category. And I think it's almost all for the exact same reasons. So we don't really need to go into it. The only thing I really want to address for this is the Annihilator changes from, oh, he's a 12-12, he's going to kill you in 2 hits. He's a 12-12, he can kill you in 2 hits, but he can be chump blocked. He's going to kill you in like 1.5 hits. If he attacks again, you're dead. Hits you once, oh my god, I'm crippled. Hits you again, you're done.
I mean, this card's removable, but again, if they ramp up to 1 million and then you kill it and then they've drawn 4 cards, they can ramp back up to that. Oh, you got to police it. You got to police all the ramp on
It's very,
the side.
very similar to the other one. It could be better in some situations. Oh, I have, no max hand ties and I draw 4 and I'm past 7. Great. That's like worse for you guys.
Art is fine. There's nothing.
I love it.
I mean, I know you love it.
I love this card. This actual card is like one of my top 10 favorite cards.
Yeah.
More than the other one.
The art, there's not too much to talk about there. Give us a quick breakdown of his coolness. We already know he's a 10 for coolness, but give me the
Right, so
the blurb.
I had to split up the Kozilek lores. This one is like what actually is Kozilek. He's the Titan of Distortion, quote, a reality-slicing nightmare of relentless insanity. He changes people's perception of reality, and he distorts what is true around him. And here's my big problem. I understand that Ulamog is indestructible. Kozilek has this ability. It's like a static thing. You can't be around Kozilek and not have no understanding of what's real and what's not real. And everything's distorted and like laws of physics are just like out the window around this thing. How are you setting it on fire? How are you not going insane when you're just near this thing? I don't understand, and it makes me mad.
Because it's not as powerful as you think, or it's only
It distorts reality. He's the butcher of truth. True. How do you even butcher? I love you, Kozilek.
You misunderstand the power of a strong writing.
Burn you.
You can write anything, and if you're the one who gets to make the story, it's just true.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
You
matter.
can write whatever you want. Turns out, and
Even
you can
if
put it on a website, and then it becomes what happens.
Yeah. That's the power of writing the lore. The
Power of having that job. At least we're done with Eldrazi.
Then number 22, another Eldrazi.
The last one, I believe. No, the second last one.
The second last one. There's one more.
Yeah.
Emrakul, the Promised End. This is a 13/13 for 13. It costs 1 less to cast for each type in your graveyard. It has Flample, Flying, and Trample. And when you cast it, you gain control of target player's next turn, and then they get an extra turn after that one.
And there's one more thing. Protection from instants.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's hard to kill.
I actually forgot. I forgot a line of text in the card.
There's a lot of lines of text on this card. It usually costs, in a colorless deck where you have colorless ramp, you have mostly artifacts and lands going to the graveyard. I don't really think there's any colorless enchantments. Maybe a couple tribals thrown in if you got some Eldrazi stuff going on. Instant sorcery. So it's going to cost around 7, 8.
But you have a ton of ramp.
And you have a ton of ramp, and you're playing the colorless deck, and you just shove ramp in your deck, because when you cast this magic card, you don't need to draw cards, because you get to kill somebody. Almost guaranteed.
Yeah, or make that player help you. If they have something, there's a lot of draw spells that when you cast it, say target player draws cards, they might target you. Why
I
wouldn't
think
they?
Deep Analysis is one, right?
Yep, target player draws 2 cards. There's a bunch of them.
I mean, okay. Fire Covenant, Necropotence, anything that says pay life kills somebody immediately.
Toxic Deluge.
Any combo in their deck kills everyone but you immediately. So you just win. This card is no fun for them, maximum fun for you.
I mean, if you go off with their combo, also, like you said, you get to kill everyone but you, but also then after that, you dismantle their combo and
Yes.
throw it away, so
Like
they can't use it.
There was a game that ended with the Aetherflux Reservoir top Bolas Citadel combo. It's like, all right, kill my 2 opponents that aren't us, and then pay 50 until I'm dead. Just shoot myself with the combo with whatever's left over and over.
That's funny. I never thought about this.
I think there was a malfunction in the reservoir.
The reservoir just exploded and backfired
Over and over and over, like 100 times.
until you died.
Yeah. I guess you can also just draw them out of their deck, right?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely can do that too.
They're just dead.
They're done. It's over. This card is not fun. It has amazing art. It's towering and squidding over a whole city.
Now this looks so. This is literally drawn to look Lovecraftian.
This is the most Lovecraftian of all of them.
Yeah, she looks so gigantic in this side.
So great. The scale, the hopelessness of it again is amazing.
This is such a 10 for art. It's so good.
And this one,
good.
This one and the most recent Kozilek Butcher, they look like they're coming at you, which it makes me uncomfortable.
I mean, the tentacles are like going through this. Like, she's in the background.
Yeah, and the tentacles are enveloping the whole city and everyone in it. And if you look at the bottom of the art, if you look up the whole art, it's a war. There's like her spaghetti people that she's corrupted fighting like desperate citizens.
She even
in the very, very foreground.
She spaghetti corrupted a cat. It's so sad.
That was not okay. That was not cool. Here's the line, Emrakul. Your tentacles crossed it. The lore for Emrakul, as we said, all Eldrazi, completely amazing, Lovecraftian, terrifying, horrible, hopeless, amazing monsters. This is the Titan of Corruption, the largest of the Eldrazi. She's a girl, the only female Eldrazi ever, and the first female Eldrazi, I would say. So inclusion win, right?
I mean, not really, because it doesn't really have a gender. It's the kind of thing where it's just like it exists as what it is, and they gave it the gender of female. I mean,
I think it was more of like the people gendered it as a female.
Yeah.
The god was female, so I guess Emrakul's whatever. It only affects living matter, which I did not know. I think Ulamog is the one that kind of eats everything and mashes it, and then Kozilek makes it into the wastes, and then Emrakul makes life from that, I want to say, because they're kind of like the recyclers, and I think killing them was bad for the multiverse. I don't know how that's actually true, but I think they take the three of them, travel through the Blind Eternities, and take dead planes and refurbish them so that they have life again. That's what they actually do.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah,
no,
Ulamog raises the land, and then Kozilek turns it into, kind of like mystifies it a little bit. Yeah, Ulamog processes it, Kozilek makes it livable, and then Emrakul makes the life.
Well, maybe the problem is they don't know what planes are really dead, so they just go wherever they want.
There was some problem. The reason they went on Zendikar, well, they got locked away originally. That was the problem, I think. Maybe they were accidentally put somewhere, and then they had to get locked away. And then the problem was, now they're like off the cycle. They don't know. That's why Emrakul was saying the soil's not receptive, because when she goes by herself, nothing happens. She just ruins the life that's already there. Instead of Ulamog and Kozilek were supposed to rip everything up and fix it so that she could make life, and she's like, oh, this, like, literally, the land is not receptive to her.
I didn't know.
Like the cool, like, that's so cool.
I did not know that. And now she's in the moon plotting her next
Plotting
move.
to take revenge. I don't think she cares about revenge, though. I don't know what she cares about.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, imagine having motivations that no one could understand. Because
It's the old meme. Aliens. That one guy from the History Channel.
Yeah.
I think we can just move on. Emrakul's amazing, not fun.
We're ready for
Destroys everything.
This is the best because we get to do the classic 41 to 42 points. Wow, this one doesn't look nearly as good as that last one.
Those last three were pretty good cards, huh? What about Rakdos, Lord of Riots? Can I interest you in that? 21. Black, red for a 6/6 Flampler. Your spells cost one. Your creature spells cost one less to cast for each life that your opponents have lost this turn. This conveniently casts the three cards before it almost all the time.
All of those cards go in this deck.
Yeah,
Because
red, black, colorless ramp. You're gonna use cards that multiply damage and butterfly it out to make tons and tons and tons of virtual mana for your creatures.
you might not play Distortion because you can't get rid of the Wingdings.
Yes, you cannot get rid of the Wingdings. You got to produce that yourself. You got to soul ring it.
So, but this is such a cool deck. 10 for fun because you just get to cast these huge, big things. There's a lot of like combos. You could like, if you do 12 damage to opponents this turn, and you have what's the bounce?
The same thing for Animar?
Cloudstone Curio.
Oh, Curio?
If you have Curio, you could play Kozileks back and forth and destroy your whole deck.
Cloudstone Curio and 2 Kozileks might be my ultimate goal in life. Oh, draw a bunch of cards, draw 4 cards, draw 4 cards. Sweet.
And like, you're just drawing your whole deck so you can cast a bunch more free things. You're just going to win the game.
Yeah, the art is actually amazing for this card. I wouldn't have really expected to like it as much, but I think it has, if I am not mistaken, an extremely amazing guild kit art.
Yes.
He's got a scythe. I love me a good scythe.
Well, he's always had a scythe.
But I love me a good scythe. It's very prominent in the art.
He looks so gigantic and intimidating.
He is. He literally just kills people. He makes you perform for him, and if he doesn't like you, he kills you.
I mean, people want to be killed by him. They want to be sacrificed to him.
He's like a hedonist, like psycho who just wants blood and entertainment. And I don't know how the Rakdos are in charge of entertainment and who's going to these shows.
I mean, they're very entertaining, especially if you're in the audience and not in real danger.
Yeah,
it's very entertaining to watch. But
I think the audience is in danger, though.
Well, maybe that's part of. Maybe that's part. Like, as far as
like an Azorius dad, just going to like a rack, like, oh, bye, honey, I'm gonna go to the theater. I want to watch somebody get his head chopped off and fed to a bunch of rats. Like, oh, all right. I don't know. He probably. It's weird. But he hides for months or years at a time in his lair below Rick's Mahdi, and that's why there was that card Rakdos' return, because he was gone for a while.
Yeah, he just sits in the least cool thing that he ever did was let Gideon ride on him.
Some people would say that's the most cool thing.
Nope, it's not. No.
Not very
Him
becoming.
being this giant god, like godlike
Reduced to a Yoshi.
demon. Yeah, reduced to Gideon's Yoshi.
Now, what are we on? We did coolness, and we're talking about uniqueness. This is about him and Animar are like the ones that do this kind of thing.
But he's even cooler because you can play him. So say you have 6 mana, play him, cast a Flame Rift, and then cast a Kozilek.
Just for free.
Okay, that's cool.
That is amazing.
It's like
Flame Rift has card disadvantage, but you know it's not. Kozilek.
yeah, I love
Amazing.
I really like this card, and it's the classic. We looked at the top 41 pointer into the bottom 42 pointer. It's like really.
He just has what he only has downside of power being a little bit low. His fun and stuff crushes the Eldrazi. He's way more fun for him, for you, and the opponents. The art, is about the same. But I'm just saying, he has 1 point better than all the rest of the Eldrazi. I can live with that.
For cool, like he's at an 8. The whole guild is named after him, and Rakdos is by far the coolest.
He's one of the Peruns. He's one of the original people from the guild packs.
Like what is? Like I'm trying to think.
He's got clout in history. It's him and Niv Mizzet, I think, are the ones that are left.
Are there any cooler, guilds for what they do?
Than Rakdos?
It's so Rakdos is so cool.
It's unique compared to stuff like Golgari, where it's literally just life and death.
It's boring.
It's a little bit lame. Is it is electricity and nothing else?
Non-stop parties and entertainment and
the circus. What? A circus is red black.
Every time I think of Rakdos, I know Magic always goes PG. There's definitely so much sex going on in the Rakdos clan.
That's where the red light district is.
It's I imagine it's everywhere in the Rakdos guild. If you go to Rakdos, you couldn't not see somebody having sex pretty much.
But that just gets into what are they having sex with and what's, because they don't care. They obviously don't care.
I know.
And yes, this video is for children. Thank you for asking, Papa.
It's something that Magic would never address, but it's obviously with everything that they mentioned that this guild is about and does, sex is so included in that, it's insane.
I think Magic hates referencing that. They're just here's Gerard's kid, don't ask any questions. Nothing happened, they're just here.
This is Cissei's legacy. How did it get here? Don't ask.
Don't ask, because it never happened. There was no time in between now and then. This is just where we're at. Wow. We gotta end this video.
Wait, angels are all female? Well, here's Rhea Dawnbringer's son, or daughter.
Michael Dawnbringer.
Lyra Dawnbringer. Here's the daughter. I don't know. As far as angels go, I actually have no clue how they reproduce.
I watched the Net Geo Wild documentary on it later.
They're all females, and I just don't. I don't know. I literally have no clue.
I'm gonna do one better. I don't care, and I just care about our 35 patrons who support the channel monetarily, financially, who make the show actually happen, so we can talk about angels breeding and why the logistics and the finer points of that, but also our moms, because without breeding, we wouldn't even be here.
Yes, this video is for children.
Thank you for asking. Who else do you want to shout out?
I would like to shout out. I don't know. You shout out.
Maybe TCG player.
Well, what I was gonna say is, if you're thinking nitpicking nerds, I love you. I want to support you monetarily, but a monthly fee, that's not my thing. I don't like putting things on my credit card to be charged monthly. You can just go to buymeacoffee.com, which is a virtual tip jar where you can give us increments of $3 and we'll go, ooh, thank you so much.
Let's see. Payments monthly? That's not for me. Go to buy me a coffee. I don't know.
Oy vey. But now,
the
next thing you're thinking is, Nitpicking Nerds, no. I can't. I love all the videos. I love the content. You guys are great. You're doing wonderful stuff there. But I ain't got extra money for you. I need to buy all the Magic cards that I want so I can play all these cool decks and commanders you're showing me. So what you can do is you can click on the link in the description below, because the description is actually below the video.
Smash that like button.
And smash that like button. Click on the link that will lead you to one of these cool commanders. Use that link to navigate anywhere in TCG Player, buy any card your little heart desires, or your big heart, maybe you got a huge heart, and it's 3 sizes too big, and it's not good for you, Grinch. I'm sorry.
Back on track. We're losing them.
Buy the cards. You'll support the channel because you used our link. We get kickback, and that'll support the channel, and we would be so grateful. Do you have anything else you want to say? Give me something. Give him one last thing.
One last piece of news. Our sink in the basement is leaking, and it got a blanket wet today. There's a little insight into our life.
That's a true statement.
Comment if you want more. If you want part of our life after every video.
Do you want? Yeah. Comment if you want us in every video to tell you something completely useless that you have.
One tidbit.
One tidbit about our life. Yeah. We can't go any further into detail. That blanket's wet. We got to clean it up. Peace out, Tribe Scout.